part of me is excited to turn 44. Part of me is scared to turn 44. Like, I just already feel like my 40s are going by so much faster than my 30s did. This day has just not gone how I had hoped. I do not want to let a bad couple of hours turn into a bad day. I was not prepared for how hard my 40s would be. Hello and welcome to a new vlog. Welcome if you're new here. Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm a full-time university writing instructor and a part-time content creator and indie author. Welcome back if you're one of my lovely returning friends. It is great to have you all here. Welcome to Wednesday. I am very slow and tired this Wednesday morning. It is just about 8 o'clock. The sun has risen, but as you might be able to see out the window behind me, it's cloudy and I'm loving it. It is a bit of a cloudy morning, and I mean, this parking lot, it's hard to tell. The roads look a bit damp. I think it might have rained. I definitely think it rained at my apartment complex. It's hard to tell if it rained much here. I really hope it rained. I think it might have rained last night as well, right before sunrise. Yesterday morning I woke up and it smelled like rain because I had one of my windows cracked open overnight, and so my apartment just had that rain smell, which is amazing. It's still pretty cloudy. It's starting to break up a little bit towards where the sun is coming up, but like the rest of the valley, you'll see in a minute when I get out, it's definitely looking cloudy still and a bit stormy and moody, which I love. We all know it. That's my favorite weather because it's so rare here in the desert. If you're new, I live in Phoenix. I wasn't planning on vlogging today, but I feel like a potentially somewhat cloudy day. It is supposed to stay cloudy for the rest of the morning, I think. So we'll see. You can probably kind of see here, the sun is starting to peek out. So I might get a little bit of sunshine for my hike, but there's still a lot of clouds around it. So I'm really hoping for a cloudy day today for at least part of the day. That would make my mood a little bit better. Today's just going to be a pretty just typical standard life in my 40s kind of vlog. It is still January as I am filming this, but by the time you're watching this, it will be February. Just hard to believe that February will actually arrive. January has I feel like every year we say this though. Every year January feels 5 months long. I haven't minded it that much. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened this month, like outside of my own life, that's not been great. So I'm not thrilled about all of that. But in my own personal life, I have kind of enjoyed that January has felt like it has gone slowly, because I want this whole year to go by slowly. I don't want to be rushing through my life. But yeah, by the time you're watching this, it will be February. It'll be the first Monday of February, which I think is the 3rd, which means we are about 21 days from my birthday, if you are watching this on the day that it goes up. So less than a month, even from now when I'm filming this, I am less than a month from turning 44. And I'm probably going to be talking about that a bit throughout the vlogs this month in February. A part of me is excited to turn 44. Part of me is scared to turn 44. Like, I just feel like my 40s are starting to race by, and I want my 40s to slow down. I just already feel like my 40s are going by so much faster than my 30s did, and that scares me. I feel like in some ways my life is not as great as it was in my 30s. Like my 30s, I lucked out. There was some bad stuff in my 30s. I won't lie. I was in a long-term relationship. I got my heart absolutely smashed to pieces at the end of that. My PhD was a roller coaster. There were some good moments. There were some not so good moments. Like, my 30s in general were a roller coaster, but it's like there were some really high highs and then some really low lows throughout my 30s. And so far in my 40s, it just feels like I'm coasting. And I don't like that. Like most of my 40s have been, like my 40s so far has been most of my publishing. So like that's been great. And my YouTube channel has really come along throughout my 40s. I'd say some of my biggest progress with this channel has been since turning 40. So like there have been some really good things, but overall, I just feel like it's been a lot more even, which in some ways is good. But as a result of that, it just feels a bit stagnant, might not be the right word. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Again, I wasn't planning on vlogging, but then driving here, seeing the clouds, seeing how happy that was making me, I just thought maybe I should vlog today. So we're gonna give vlogging a try. I'm gonna go hiking. I need to get out there. I need to go hiking. I do not have that much time to be out here because I need to get home, get cleaned up, and get logged on for work. I have office hours at 10. I have a video appointment later this afternoon, and then in between and after all of that, I've got other teaching work to do, and then I do need to try to do some writing. I did a lot of writing on Monday, but I didn't do any writing yesterday because it was a teaching day. So yeah, I've got a lot to do today. And I've got a lot rattling around in my head, and we'll just see how today goes. But I'm feeling a bit chatty today, and I feel like I want you all to keep me company today. So we're gonna vlog and see how that goes. Starting with a very cloudy and moody and atmospheric hike, and I am definitely ready for this. Yesterday was lovely on campus, but I am ready to just get out in the peace and quiet and go for a hike. So let's go. Okay, it is now a bit later. It's still morning. I'm just about to pop on to office hours. I have come home from hiking. I've cleaned myself up. I've made myself a nice cup of coffee. I've got a toasted croissant. I've published today's vlog, which is the vlog introducing you all to Kiki. I miss her so much. I just can't wait to go over to the house again and see her again. She makes me so happy. She just does. I had the best day hanging out with her, and I just really hope that she's not like mad at me for leaving and not coming back for almost a week. But by the time I go back, I think I'm gonna go over tomorrow. So I can't wait to go see her again. So I really hope you all enjoyed that vlog. I'm like I'm trying not to refresh my YouTube studio page obsessively. I need to just focus on work and get some work done. But I'm really hoping that you all enjoy this vlog that I put up today. So that's done, and now I am just going to be settling in to get to work. I have printed off all of my grade sheets and attendance sheets, so I need to fill out the names on those for my 3 classes. I printed off the grade sheets for my business writing class, so that those just need to go into my folder. So I've got admin stuff like that. It looked like I had a bunch of emails. I need to get my emails swung over onto my external monitor. Got 22 emails that need to be responded to. I know I've got some grading to do because they had a deadline last night. I also, now that it's week 3, I need to go through as I'm doing my attendance sheets, just figure out who's already missed a significant number of classes in just 3 weeks and do some academic status reports and send out some emails to those students. So yeah, just a lot. It's an admin day. It's just going to be a lot of teaching admin today. I don't know that I'm going to get ahead on much today. I think it's just going to be getting through everything, which I really need to start getting ahead, because after spring break, it's going to be really, really busy and really hectic. And I just kind of want to get ahead on things so that I don't completely drown during spring break, because that is the fear right now. So yeah, anyway, I'll get as much done today as I can. Hiking was nice. The clouds were amazing. It was just so nice that it was very cool and cloudy. I think it was only about 40 degrees. It is supposed to warm up, I think, starting tomorrow. If you don't like hearing me complain about the weather, you can skip forward a few minutes. Okay, tomorrow's still gonna be 58. Friday and Saturday are gonna be okay, 60s. Sunday it starts going up into the 70s. Monday and Tuesday it's gonna be upper 70s, 79 and 77. Then back down to 70, 69 next Thursday, 74 next Friday. Those last few days of the 10-day have been fluctuating a lot, so we'll see. But I think we're on the tail end of winter. February is always very up and down. February we can still have some cooler days, but we can also start having some warmer days that feel more like spring. And I'm just having to resign myself to the fact that basically we got no winter. We got like 3 days of winter this year. I know for a lot of you are in more normal climates, and so 3 days of winter probably sounds like heaven to you. But the way I compare it is, just imagine you have a summer where you only have 3 sunny days. 3 warm, beautiful sunny days, and that's all you get in an entire summer. That's how I feel when I don't get what little winter southern Arizona actually gets. I won't lie, I'm feeling a little bit disappointed. Like, today is beautiful. It's still cloudy, it's still really cool. I'm double layered in a sweater and a long sleeve t-shirt underneath. I've got the windows cracked open, but like, it's nice and cool in my apartment. I could close the windows and be a little bit less cool in here, and that would probably be good, but I'm trying to keep it as cool as possible so that it doesn't warm up if the sun comes out later this afternoon. Like, today is nice, and I'm trying to just focus on today and not think about this weekend when it's going to be 79, and I don't want to have to turn my air conditioning on in February, in early February. I just, like, I do need to move. Like, it's not going to happen anytime soon, but I acknowledge I do need to move somewhere cooler. I want to move somewhere cooler. My birthday's in February, and that, like, I feel like I'm a winter baby. I'm meant to be a winter baby. I'm sure when I was born in February in Germany, it was quite cold the day I was born. And since living in Arizona, like, it's just, especially my birthday being at the end of February, it's always hit or miss. Sometimes my birthday still feels a little bit like winter. Sometimes it feels almost like summer. I don't know. I can already feel my seasonal depression creeping. Like, I feel like it never fully went away, because it hasn't felt like we've had consistent weather. It keeps warming up. It'll get really nice and cool, and then it'll warm back up. And so, like, December was above average for most of the month, and January has had some above average days, and it really hasn't gotten that cold. And then the other thing I was noticing on my hike today is we really, like, I do think it rained last night, but we really are not getting any rain. We've not had proper rain in months, if not, like, since this time last year. And like, there's nothing starting to bloom out at the park. By this time last year, there was a carpet of green. Like, there's this, like, grassy ground cover. It's not grass. There's bits of grass, but there's also, it's like this really small green ground cover plant that has little teeny tiny, like the tip of a pencil, little white flowers, and it just carpets the desert floor. And last year that started popping up in like December, like just before Christmas. And so by the end of January, the bushes and things were still coming back to life, and we didn't have a lot of big wildflowers. The poppies hadn't bloomed, the lupins hadn't bloomed, none of those had bloomed yet. But that green was starting to appear by the end of January. It was like very green out there, and it is still this year so brown. And I'm just really worried and sad that we might not have much of a wildflower bloom this year. And like, that's literally the one thing I look forward to about the temperatures warming up slightly, is like when we've had rain throughout the winter, and when the temperatures warm back up to like upper 60s, low 70s, we start getting the wildflowers, and it's just magical. And I feel like we had a decent wildflower bloom last year, even though we hadn't had as much rain as we'd had in previous years. This year we've had no rain. We had no rain throughout the monsoon season back in like August and September, and we've had no rain all winter. Normally we will get some rain like in December and January, and that just instantly brings the desert back to life, and we haven't had that. And I just don't know that these last 2 nights, I don't know that it's rained that much. I don't know if it's rained enough. I don't know if it's rained out at the park in the right place. So like, everything around my apartment complex is looking pretty green, and all the like landscaped flowers I'm sure are going to bloom, but the wildflowers is what I really look forward to, and the Palo Verde trees. And I don't know if they're going to have gotten enough rain. So it's going to be a very interesting spring to see if anything does bloom. It might be a late bloom, but they keep saying that we're going to get rain, and then we don't. And so the desert's always in a drought, right? Like, it's always dry, and we don't need that much rain for things to bloom, but we are in a major drought right now. And like, we've never been getting as much rain as we've gotten in previous decades over the last several years, but in the last several years we have gotten some rain, and this past year we just haven't. It kind of started, I think it kind of started last spring. It just felt like we weren't getting as much rain throughout March and February and March as we usually do, and then we got no monsoon, and then we've had no rain this winter. So no rain, no snow on the mountains. That usually happens like once a year. We haven't had that happen. It still could. February and March could still get some rain, and that could be enough to do something with the wildflowers, but I don't know. It just feels like it's such a tease today because it's so cloudy and it just looks like it could rain. Anyway, I did not mean to complain about the weather this much, but this is just how I'm feeling today. Like, I'm just noticing that things that I was noticing last winter at this time, it's completely different out there hiking. It looks completely different, and I'm trying to remind myself not to have expectations, and so we just probably won't get wildflowers this year. If we do, that'll be a lovely surprise. If we don't, then I'll just look through my pictures from last year. But anyway, I need to get to work. I am definitely procrastinating now, so I need to get going with office hours. I need to get through my email, do all this other admin-y stuff, drink my coffee before it gets cold. Definitely need to drink my coffee before it gets cold. And yeah, I will check with you all in a little bit. Okay, do you ever have a day where by like 2 o'clock, you just want to get back in bed and just call it done. That's where I'm at today. I have no idea what this vlog is going to be. This day has just not gone how I had hoped, and I'm not supposed to set expectations this year. So I'm supposed to just let each day unfold and just see how it unfolds. So it's after 2. It's 2:30. It's 2:31. I have definitely been sidelined for the last couple of hours. I'm trying to get work done, but I've also been having a panic attack, basically. And I don't want to dwell on that. I don't want that to be what this vlog is about. But also these vlogs are my life, so I don't want to hide. I knew vlogging today was going to be a toss-up. I knew that this day could either go fine, it could either go totally normal, just a normal day, or it could turn into an absolute mess. And I feel like my brain is telling me that it's turning into an absolute mess, but I do not want to let a bad couple of hours turn into a bad day. So, good things. Well, first, why am I upset? I should just tell you so that you're not wondering. It's nothing horrible. It's nothing catastrophic. Everything's fine. I'm fine. My family's fine. The dogs are fine. Like, it's not actually a crisis. It's a crisis in my head. I need to find a new doctor. We've talked about this. But if you're brand new, hi, I'm Andrea, and I have a really bad doctor that I don't want to have to go back to. I had a really bad, I've never had a fantastic experience with this doctor. I've seen her for a few years now, but in the past I've never had anything, like, it's just maintenance. It's just issues we already know about and renewing prescription refills and things like that. But this past year, things are changing in my body. It's not, how I'm feeling isn't normal. And my suspicion, and a lot of your suspicions, a lot of you had suspected that it might be perimenopause. So I need a new doctor, because when I brought that up with my current doctor, she just completely dismissed it as not even a possibility. I'm about to be 44. So I think it's definitely a possibility. Does that mean it is what it is? No, I could not have perimenopause or not be in perimenopause. It's absolutely possible that that is not the case. But it is also absolutely possible that it is the case. So to be told it's not possible, and that those were her exact words, not possible. It couldn't possibly be that. That's verbatim what she told me. So I need a new doctor. I had a few names that came recommended. I called those offices today. None of them are accepting new patients. And I don't know what to do now. The thought of just having to go onto my insurance website and just search all of the primary care providers in my immediate vicinity or even further afield is daunting, to say the least. If that's what I have to do, then that's what I'll do. I did have an appointment with another provider who I see for other things. I had an appointment with her recently. She's going to look up some people, so I'm still waiting to hear from her and see if she has any names that at least come slightly personally recommended. So the journey continues, but that has definitely caused a bit of upset over the last couple of hours. So I need to get back to work. I want to be able to finish working by like 4 today, so that I can do some writing. I really want to write. I don't want to not write today because I didn't write yesterday. Yesterday was not supposed to be a writing day, so it's not that I'm a day behind, but if I don't write today, then I will be a day behind. And I feel like I'm so close to being able to finish the first draft of this book early, and if I can finish it early, it will give me more time to step away from it before I start editing it. And I really think at this point I do need to finish the first draft, step away for like a couple of weeks. So I don't want to take today off. So where we're at today, I do not want to let the last 2 hours not being good. Like, I don't want a bad 2 hours to turn into a bad day. I had a lovely morning. I had a beautiful hike. I was enjoying the cloudy weather and the like stormy moodiness of the weather. It's now clearing up, but it's still quite cool outside. So I want to get this window opened up, and now that my hands were so cold, but I've got a heating pad in my lap, I've got a blanket, I'm all bundled up, my hands have like thawed out and feel warm and normal now. I can hear the breeze in the trees, so I just want to let a little bit of cool air come in. I'm just enjoying the weather while it lasts, and I just want to spend the rest of the afternoon working. I need to work, but like, I'm gonna light a candle, I'm gonna put on like a fun vlog or music ambiance video, just make my workspace feel cozy and nice and pleasant to be in. So I'm gonna get work done for the day, and then I want to have a nice relaxing writing session later. We can chat a bit more about writing. Yeah, I just want to reclaim the day. I got really upset. It really triggered a full-on panic attack, like sobbing hysterically. Y'all don't need to see that. Like, you might think there's not a limit, but there is a limit to what I will share on the internet. But that's probably one of the worst panic attacks I've had in a good few weeks or so. And like, I say that as someone who is currently having panic attacks on an almost daily basis. I'm just having like little mini panic attacks most days, but this was a big one. I just because it just felt like, it literally felt like I was having doors slammed in my face, and I need help. I'm struggling to deal with this on my own. I need a good doctor, and it's just so hard to find a good doctor. And I hate, like, this is, and so I have to be kind to myself, because I know that dealing with doctors and dealing with medical providers and trying to find a new doctor when there is something actively wrong with me, or when I feel like there is something actively wrong with me, this is one of the top 10 stressors. Like, we all know there's a list of like the 10 most stressful life events, like getting a divorce, moving, the death of a family member. Like, there's the big stuff, the big 10. In my own personal life, I have like my top 10 things that will just send me from totally normal, calm, even keel, life is fine, I've got it, like I'm good. They take me from that level to the world is ending, I cannot cope, I am falling apart, in like less than 5 seconds. There are like about probably 8 to 10 things that can send me from here through to the stratosphere in 5 seconds. Having to find a new doctor is near the top of that list. Car problems, health insurance, and this is kind of related to that, but it is a separate issue. Health insurance, finding a new doctor, student loans. Oh, and I'm dealing with some of that right now as well, because with all the political changes, there's a lot up in the air with student loans, and like, these are the things that will like just send me spiraling of feeling like everything's falling apart, the sky is falling, the world is ending, I can't cope, I don't know what to do. And like, these are the stories my brain tells me. Obviously the world is not ending, the sky is not falling, I am okay, I am not actively under threat in this moment. That's just how my brain is making me feel. But there are these select number of things that just, my coping skills walk out the door when these things pop up, and I will have these moments of just blind panic and fear, and it always takes me a good couple of hours to talk myself back down and remind myself that I am okay, everything is all right. It feels really big and scary, but you're going to be fine. Like, literally, worst case scenario, I have to stick with this doctor. She's not actively harming me. She's not the worst doctor in the world. Like, I'm sure there are worse doctors. I need to, if I do have to go back to see her, I clearly need to be more assertive in advocating for myself. And I need to make her like stop and actually talk to me and hear what I'm saying and have an actual conversation with me. I would rather have a doctor where it's not doing battle with them every time. So I want to just find a new doctor. But if I have to stay with this doctor, I will make it work. I will make sure that I get the care that I need. So like that is truly the worst case scenario in this situation. But 2 hours ago, my brain was telling me a completely different story. So there are these days and there are these times where I have these really bad flare-ups of my anxiety, and I have these really bad anxiety and panic attacks because of some trigger, like in this case, finding out that none of these doctors that I was hoping I could get in to see are accepting new patients. And that just, it shouldn't have been a shock to my system, but that's how it felt in the moment because I'm just already struggling with things. But like, that's it. It's happened. I'm okay. I will be fine. Hopefully hearing me talk through this is helping some of you if you're dealing with these things. Like, on the one hand, when you're dealing with anxiety, there's often not a lot that people can say that helps you, especially when you're actually in the moment of a panic attack. Sometimes, despite people's best intentions, the things they say to try to reassure you actually have the complete opposite effect. So like, I get it, and I'm never going to dismiss someone who's dealing with anxiety and say that like you're just doing it wrong. I'm sure there are people who think that I'm just handling it wrong or that I could handle things better, but like, I'm just doing the best I can. That's all any of us can do. And it's definitely a harder than usual for me situation that I'm dealing with. And so I just have to work harder to cope with things, but talking to you all helps. And I do not want this whole vlog to be about my anxiety, and I don't want this whole day to be about my anxiety or this panic attack. I want to get this grading done. I need to go get something to eat because this all started during my lunch break and I didn't actually get any lunch, and so that latte and croissant I had earlier is like, I need food. Ooh, you know what sounds good? This is what we're gonna do. A toasted cheese sandwich. I think I need a cheese toasty. So I'm gonna go get that popped in the toaster oven, get that going. I'm just gonna make everything cozy here at the desk, get the last of this grading done for today, and then we're gonna leave all of this behind in the past couple hours and move forward and enjoy the rest of today because it's a beautiful day outside. I don't want to feel this upset when it is such a beautiful day outside. I just want to enjoy the rest of the day and just, it was a bad couple hours, but it's still a good day, and that's what I'm focusing on. So if you've had a rough day, hopefully hanging out with me is cheering you up a little bit, because I know a lot of you say that that does help. I'm with you in solidarity and in spirit. If you've been having a rough day, same, but we're gonna make it better. But yeah, I'm just gonna stop talking, go get my sandwich, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon because it really is a beautiful day outside. Okay, it's after 4 o'clock. I'm fighting lighting, I'm fighting messiness in the background. I just feel like my apartment right now is totally a reflection of the state of my mind. My mind is in chaos, my apartment is in chaos. I still have Christmas decorations out that need to be like properly, fully put away. I've got laundry that needs to be done. I've got stuff that just needs to be cleaned up because it's still in a mess from when I rearranged my office. Anyway, we're not thinking about that. I was gonna say, I don't want this vlog to be, I've already said this basically, but like, I don't want these vlogs to be just me melting down, and I don't want these vlogs to be about me and my messy drama. But that really is my life these days. I just feel like my life is a lot of messy chaos that is partially self-inflicted. Like, part of it is just my brain making trouble for me. I know we've talked about this in the past in previous vlogs. I wanted to do a life in my 40s vlog today. This is definitely that. Like, this really is like, as I'm nearing 44 and as I'm nearing like the halfway point of my 40s, I was not prepared. I was not prepared for how hard my 40s would be. Like, you just think by the end of your 30s, you've been through your 20s, you've been through your 30s, you're fully an adult now. Like, I got this. I know what I'm doing. This isn't hard. Life isn't hard. Life is what you make it, you know? And I thought, if I could get through my 20s and my 30s, my 40s will be a breeze. Oh my God. My 40s have definitely been the hardest decade of my life. And not so much because of the things I'm doing. Like, I did harder things in my 30s. I finished my first master's during my 20s, but I went back to school and did a second master's and a PhD in my 30s. I technically started self-publishing in my 30s. I started this YouTube channel in my 30s. My 30s had hard stuff in it. Got my heart broken really badly in my 30s. So like, my 30s were not perfect, but there's just something about my 40s that feels harder, and it's all down to the changes in my body and my brain. It's the cognitive issues, it's the mental and emotional issues, it's just feeling like I don't know who I am anymore. Like, I do, but I don't, because so much of me is changing in whatever is happening in my body. I've been in therapy for years, and I've been working on my mental health for years, and I've gotten it, like, by my late 30s, early 40s, like around 39, 40, I felt like my mental health was in the best place it had been in a long time, if not even like the best place it had been ever. It just felt like, okay, I'm going into a new decade. I'm older, I'm wiser, I'm ready to conquer my 40s and like see what magic it brings. And like, I'm still really, really open to that. I really am. But I was unprepared starting around 41. And I think that was also like hugely because of the pandemic and stuff. But it's just been a downhill slide. And I have to work so hard every day to still find joy in the day, and to not lose perspective on how fortunate I am and how much I have to be grateful for, because there's a lot of horrible, horrific things happening in the world today, and ultimately everything that I'm dealing with is a fraction of how bad other people have it. And it's not a competition. And if anyone in your life is telling you to stop stressing about things because other people have it worse, sure, other people have it worse, but you could also have things better. Like, your life could be going better than it is. My life could be going better. I could feel better. So I can acknowledge that other people have it worse and that it's not a competition, and remind myself that what I'm dealing with is still hard and is still something that I'm dealing with. And so like, I just feel like my 40s, especially like every year into my 40s, it's gotten harder and harder, from 40 to 41 to 42 to 43, and now being almost 44. It just feels like, oh, and I really don't want to cry. I'm so fragile right now. I'm so fragile, and like, this is one of the things that's just surprising me. And it's not just today, it's every day. And this is what I'm noticing as I'm getting further into my 40s, is I am just so much more sensitive and so much more fragile and vulnerable and delicate. And yes, those words all kind of mean the same thing, but I kind of also see them in different ways. It does not help. It absolutely does not help that I am a highly sensitive person, HSP. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. It's not a medical diagnosis, but it's also not a personality trait. It's not like your Myers-Briggs or something. There is science to back it up. But it was interesting to learn about highly sensitive personality, highly sensitive person, HSP, however you want to talk about it, and read the book about it, because it made me feel, oh, I'm not the only one like this. I'm actually kind of normal, because other people do feel this way as well. So I am naturally very sensitive, and I always have been, all the way back to when I was a little girl, always been really, really sensitive. And it was helpful to find this book and hear about this concept, because I've always felt like I was overly sensitive or overly emotional. Now I know that there's a difference. It's not that there's an over or under, a perfect amount or a not perfect amount. It's just I'm more sensitive than other people are. I'm sensitive to my environment. I'm sensitive to my circumstances. I'm sensitive to changes in my body. And I think partly because of the ADHD, I can hyperfixate on how I'm feeling and what I'm noticing in my body or in my brain. And so when I'm having a really anxious day or a really down day, I can fixate on that. And then I have to work harder to not fixate on it and to not let it snowball into a bad situation. And so like today, I feel like in my 30s, when I had a day like today, it would ruin my whole day. And so there are benefits and there is strength to being in my 40s, and all the wisdom I've gained over the years and all the years of therapy and self-development and learning about myself. Ultimately, I am coping with things better. I have more knowledge of myself and more coping skills. But what has been an adjustment in my 40s is just seeing how quickly things can change. I feel like I'm talking in circles, and I'm also not quite articulating what I'm trying to articulate. But there is a lot about being in my 40s that I'm not enjoying and that just feel way harder than I anticipated. And there's so much uncertainty about things because I don't know what's causing how I'm feeling. I have my suspicions, but I can't find a doctor who will take me seriously and like honestly answer my questions and help me. What am I even trying to say? And then like moments like just like right now, I'm literally mid like thought and I completely lose track of what I'm trying to say. I've always been a bit scatterbrained. I've always, I think because of the ADHD, I've always had a brain that just moves a little bit faster than the rest of me. And like my brain is always moving ahead to the next thing while the rest of me is still trying to process the current thing. Earlier on my hike, I was thinking about this and thinking how it just feels like right now, if normal And I put that in air quotes because honestly, what the hell is normal? But if normal is our thoughts are a train on a track, one train on one track going in one direction from point A to point B, and if a normal person can just move from one task to the next, from one thought to the next, and not get distracted, if that's normal, my brain is 5 different roller coasters on 7 different tracks, all crisscrossing each other and trying to make sure that the roller coaster cars don't crash into one another, while also trying to maintain sense of which roller coaster is on which track and where is it going. I've used the analogy of a pinball machine, but it's not even that, because a pinball is still ultimately one ball bouncing from one place to another. That's how my brain was in my 30s. In my 40s, it's a completely different situation. In my 40s, my brain is now multiple roller coasters on even more multiple tracks, and the roller coasters are switching tracks, and like the tracks are all connected in weird ways, and there's loop-de-loops, and there's upside downs, and there's high highs and then steep low lows, and it just, I want off the ride. Every now and then I can get a moment where it feels like everything is suspended and frozen, and it's not rushing up and down a track. But those moments, I don't live in those moments. Those moments are when I'm relaxing at night watching TV, when I'm reading a book on the weekend, my early mornings. So like right now, the sun isn't coming up until just before 7:30. I'm waking up at about 5:30, so I can usually be out here by like 6:30-ish. And so for like an hour and a half in the morning, I sit out here in the dark. I just have my fairy lights and my candles in the fireplace on, and I put an ambiance video on the TV and I just read. And there's no emails and there's nothing that has to be done because my day hasn't really started. I'm just lost in whatever fictional world I'm reading, and it's just calm and it's peace. When I'm writing, it's the same thing. It's just me in this fictional world. As you saw 2 vlogs ago, I am struggling with like self-doubt and being critical of what I'm writing, but like when I'm really in the zone and I'm just writing and that critic voice is silenced, it's just peace, it's just calm. So like I can have those moments. But when I'm working on teaching stuff and there's emails coming in and there's another assignment that's just been submitted after I finished grading everything, and alerts are going off and my phone is going off, and like when there's all these things, even though I've got stuff on silent and I put screens face down, it's like I'm still aware that there's stuff happening. And I still feel that pull, like I've got to use all these little tricks, like putting the screen face down or putting something on silent so that I'm not even more distracted than I already am. But yeah, I don't know. I've been talking for 17 minutes and I need to shut up and I need to write because it is now 4:20 something, 4:23. I need to write. My goal in Scrivener, I think, is 761. I would like to try to get to 1,000. I'll give you the full update on writing in a little bit, but this is more of a life in my 40s and just me melting down. I don't want to make my 40s and like being 40 in general look bad, because there are a lot of positives, and I did a whole video on that. But I know a lot of you are going through similar things and you're at a similar stage, or you've just kind of gone through all of this, so I don't know. I'm just feeling vulnerable again. Y'all really loved that video where I talked about feeling vulnerable and everything that was stressing me out, and I feel like this wasn't supposed to be that vlog, but I feel like it's turning into that vlog. Anyway, I'm gonna drink my water because hydration is important, and I'm gonna do some writing and try to get to 1,000 words, and then I will give you all a writing update with wherever I end up. writing. So quick writing update, and then I need to end this vlog. Monday, I did 1,363. Today I did 781. So between Monday and today, I've done 2,000 words. So over 2,000 words. So I'm maintaining 1,000 word average per day this week. So I'm fine with 781 words. I started working on the second to last scene of chapter 19. I need to rewrite the beginning of this scene just a little bit, but that'll be easy. My brain isn't letting me do it. It's gotten cloudy again. There's a little bit of blue sky. It got like properly cloudy. I think right before this there will have been a clip of like the full clouds that come back. Now there's like some blue sky, but there's still a lot of clouds, and it looks like it's really cloudy over by the mountains. So yeah, it's gotten cloudy again. That just makes me so happy. Just makes me so happy. I love clouds. I love clouds in general. I love a cloudy day because they're just so special. We don't get them here. Literally right after I finished talking to you all in the last segment, I realized, whoa, like it's gotten dark in here. It was feeling super, super bright, and I'd had to close these blinds a little bit. And then when I turned the camera off and started writing, like, it feels so dark in here. And I opened up the blinds, and sure enough, it was full clouds again. So I've had the blinds completely open. I've just been sitting here at my window, at my desk, writing, and I'm definitely distracted, and like I've got a headache, and I need to just go lay down. Like I'm done for the day. I've done enough, but I'm proud of myself for writing. So I'm nearing the end of chapter 19, and the manuscript is currently at 86,320. I'm now thinking this is probably going to top out somewhere around 93 to 95,000, which would be amazing. To be like at least 5,000 words under my goal, I would be super, super happy about that. So yeah, writing is going well. Happy with that. I will be ready to work on this. Hopefully tomorrow I can get some writing done. Definitely doing some writing on Friday and Saturday. I'm hoping it'd be nice if on Saturday I could get like a couple thousand words done. I really want to try to finish chapter 19 over the next few days and get a good crack at chapter 20 so that I'm set up for next week to finish chapter 20 and write and finish the epilogue and finish the draft. I will absolutely vlog the day I finish the first draft. So it won't be the next vlog, but maybe the vlog or two after the next one. So yeah, I'm done writing. I'm done for the day. It's past 5 o'clock, but yeah, I'm ready to just go crash on the couch and just relax and go to bed early. I'm struggling with how to end this vlog because I don't know what the final like message or takeaway I want there to be for this vlog. It feels like this day has just been very chaotic and very up and down, and we've talked about a lot in this vlog. I think the thing that I am taking away from today and that I'm trying to focus on are the moments of joy and magic that I had today. So I had a really rough couple of hours this afternoon. I can't deny that. I can't ignore that. I can't pretend that that didn't happen. But I had a lovely, cozy, magical time early this morning before the sun rose, cozy on the couch, under the blankets with my heating pads and a lovely ambiance video on YouTube and all the fairy lights on and just reading on my Kindle. That was lovely this morning. And then I went for a beautiful cold cloudy hike this morning, bundled up in my hoodie. That was amazing. Really enjoyed that. And then I had all of your lovely comments about Kiki on today's vlog, on the vlog introducing you all to Kiki. And so reading your comments and seeing your excitement come in on the notifications on my phone. I haven't replied to comments yet, but I've read each of them as they've come in. And so seeing how excited you are and how happy you are for my family and for Kiki, and there's going to be lots more Gus and Kiki coming in the vlog. So seeing your comments, about Kiki. That made me happy. And I had some other messages, private messages from some friends, just replying to other things I've been talking about with people, and just some of their messages were making me feel a lot better about certain things. So like that was really nice today. And then the clouds coming back and writing, and now the sun is going down and it's evening, and this is one of my favorite times of day. Like it's cozy time. It's time to just settle in and get cozy. So rough midday, couple hours in the early afternoon were a little bit rough, but the rest of the day has been really good, and that's what I'm focusing on. And so I would encourage you, if you've been struggling, if you have a day where it just feels like it's going off the rails and you're struggling, whether it's just minor annoyances or you have a panic attack or something like I did, once you feel like you're back in a safe and calm space and your brain has kind of stopped that immediate panic spiral, once you can kind of think clearly again, if you can try to reclaim your day and not let a bad 10 minutes or a bad hour or a bad couple hours, as was the case for me, turn into a whole bad afternoon, or make it feel like it was a whole bad day. It wasn't a bad day. Overall, today was a really good day. Like, bad things that happened today: couldn't get a doctor's appointment, had a panic attack. Good things that happened today: cozy time reading, beautiful cloudy morning hike, got all my papers graded for my students. Everything that needed to be graded got graded, and I got through my inbox, and like overall work went really well today. Lovely comments on the vlog about Kiki. Good analytics overall for my YouTube channel. Like I'm really close to hitting some goals for January, and that's making me really happy and excited. And even if I don't hit those goals, I got really, really close, and I'm gonna count close as being good enough this month. So like feeling really good about that. Got some writing done. It got cloudy again. I had a really yummy toasted cheese sandwich. So like 2 bad things. But so far there's at least 8 good things that I can count. And the day's not even done. I'm gonna go have a really cozy night on the couch, and it's gonna be lovely. So overall, more good things today happened than bad things. The bad things were pretty bad, but I do think they were at least equally weighed out, if not outweighed, by the positive things. So that's what I'm gonna focus on. So in the comments, your mission, should you choose to accept it, let me know 1 or 2 really good, magical, wonderful, positive things, no matter how big or small. And honestly, look for the small things, because sometimes we overlook the small things. But 2 things that happened to you today that were just really positive and made you smile. That's our question of the vlog. So that's what I'd like to see in the comments. You can also leave, I don't think there's a cheese sandwich emoji, but I think there's a cheese wedge emoji, and I think there's a bread emoji. So leave me some cheese and bread emojis. That's your random emoji assignment for the vlog. Give the vlog a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'd really appreciate both of those things. Plenty more slightly chaotic but hopefully optimistic life in my 40s vlogs coming up, as well as plenty of writing vlogs. And yeah, I'm gonna go get on with the rest of my evening, and I will see you all very soon in the next vlog. Thank you very much for watching this one. Bye!